Hey all, I wanted to do a quick video series for real estate, mostly the state of market type real estate conversations. I'll do a few different videos. This one will be primarily for sellers. Anybody with a listing on the market or thinking about listing on the market. I'll do another one for buyers and investors, another one for agents. I wanted to let you know some of the things that I've been asked, some of the conversations I've been on, some of the trends that have been seen both nationally and locally, just to give you an idea and an understanding of some different or changes in strategies and conversations that I think are appropriate. So the interest rates obviously for the past several years have been going up. Buyers have less power to buy more expensive homes, that they are able to buy less and less. Just the nature of interest rates going up, you have more interest in your monthly payment. Also, we've had 3+ years of pretty low inventory, driving prices up. You got your supply and demand. So we've also now had 5 to 6 consecutive months of 2017 to 2018 comparison, sales of March to March, April to April, fewer sales in 2018 than in 17. So that right there, I guess, when someone says, Trevor, how's the market? And they just want to know, is it good, is it bad? I mean, there's certainly a slower number of transactions, a fewer number, but those prices were higher, so there's still volume and transactions and dollars exchanging hands. So I don't know that I can go so far as to say it's a bad market, but it's been this buyer's market for several years. So now we've got more inventory on the market currently versus March, April this year. So for the first time in quite a while, the more inventory or more competitive among sellers has started showing up. Now what we actually saw real world is sometime around 3, 4, 5 weeks ago, the market and the amount of time that houses are staying on the market are taking longer, especially as you go up in price points. You hit 275 and above price point, it's a month, 2 months. We've seen that consistently. And the prices themselves were doing reductions. We're not having to do major, huge reductions unless somebody's under a time crunch, and then to get something sold, you may need to be priced more competitively. But if you're looking to list or sell, you may want to capitalize on whatever value you can now, unless you're planning on hanging on to the house for another 4 years, 3 years. Might it still stay the same way that we've seen the past few years? Sure. Do we have indicators that indicate the other way? Yeah, very much so. Nobody knows entirely and in full what's going to happen with the market and prices and things like that, but there are indicators that I want to at least share as something worthy of paying attention to. So expectations when you're working with a real estate agent. If you're not working with an agent for sell by owner, you're going to feel this heavier. Without the MLS and without somebody with their actual networks that they can broadcast you into, there's going to be more effect, and I've heard that there already is more effect on prices having to do reductions, zero showings. That realm, you're going to feel that more on the for sale by owner world. But even in the agent world, certainly if you're working with an agent and talking with an agent, make sure that you and them and you know, let it be an indicator of the agent you're working with. If they're having the conversations with you realistically about how long your house might be on the market, what kind of strategy in how many weeks out and how many weeks through that listing process, you need to have various conversations of listings versus number of showings and what that looks like. They need to also honestly be having some very deep and more real and more serious conversations about the condition of your home. When someone walks in the front door, do you get that fall in love immediately feel, or don't you? Just be really honest about that, because what we're needing to do now is price homes according to condition and according to desirability. For the last several years, I mean, certainly 2-3 years, we've done that and been able to do that, but we could always lean on, and for sale by owner market came out of this, lean on, yeah, but if we just list high, we're probably gonna get that and multiple offers all in one day, and the appraisers can figure it out in the end. And that's what we got to exist in, both the pros and cons of that element and world. And then Prior to that, maybe 2014-ish, that was not the case. You'd run some comparable sales, you'd look at the range, you'd figure out the condition, and you wouldn't necessarily list at the top of that range. The house may not be in that quality threshold. Certainly over the last 3-4 years, it's not a good idea to just list at the top and see how it goes. There's some intelligence that needed to happen in there too, but you could err more on that upper side and possibly get the house sold because you're going to get 4 or 5 offers in the first day. So that price conversation, that time on market conversation, the condition conversations, do they use a stager that can give you even a full report of what your home may need to have done to make it more sellable? So the era of high price and just let it rip, let it run, probably a thing of the past, maybe sometime in the future, but current day, not necessarily it. So just make sure to evaluate your agent, the brokerage. Make sure they're not just going to do the turn and burn, low commission style type agent, run you in, run you out, mark you as a high price. Great. They know that if they get you locked into a listing contract at a very high price, it's much easier to fib that price, get you locked into a contract, and talk you into reductions from there. Obviously, I'm not a fan of that. You can tell in my hesitation even voicing it. Where you can instead have a very real conversation about what is an appropriate price, what's an appropriate expectation, what's an appropriate duration, price point, sale price, what kind of negotiations are possibly and realistically going to happen in there in the market today. So hopefully that helps. Hopefully you guys enjoyed the video, and like I said, I'll do a few others here. Private message me, let me know if you have comments, questions, anything like that. Direct message me if you're talking and thinking about listing, selling, you want to see what that looks like, what your net numbers are. If you're possibly going to list now or in the next year or two, you may want to capitalize on the values where they're at today. Time on market has changed. Values have not yet necessarily, or at least to humongous and great extent. Some we've even seen this, where prices are no longer where they were 6 months ago. They're actually a little bit lower. So I would recommend capitalizing. Call, let me know if you want to get together, do coffee, do lunch, chat. Happy to. Hope you guys have a great day. Talk to you later. Bye.